Jones on the bow, a dream come true. That is some moment. Aguero!
Welcome to Sport from the Bleachers. Results and opinions for the fans, by the fans. James Hooper's still a flog. The Aussies are in bat. Fox Sports don't know how to report sport in general. Boys, welcome.
Hello, how are you, mate?
How are you, bud?
I've started with James Hooper's a flog, and I want to get something quickly off my chest. The Jerome Luai thing has been blown out of proportion, as we know. He was receiving death threats, yada, yada, yada. It is what it is, right? Probably didn't handle it properly. But James Hooper, the way he uses his platform to drive the hate towards certain players at times, and now especially Jerome Luai, there's no accountability for these journalists anymore. Like, the way he drove the hate and said he thinks Queensland love to hate Luai and cannot win another game if Jerome Luai is part of the squad. Now, Young, we had a beer over the weekend, and Paul Gallen was the most hated person in Queensland, and he was the captain. Greg Bird wasn't liked. No New South Wales player is liked. Please, because Paul Kent is off for bashing women, don't now place an agenda because your mate's not there on someone because you want another player in the team. It's poor form and won't be called out by his mates, and he'll continue to drive an agenda and drive hate towards certain players. And he'll pick another one this week and next week. So, apologies for getting off to a bad start, but fuck, that pissed me off.
Mate, spot on. I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
I think you're spot on, Hedo. Yeah, like you said, we did talk about it, but he's driving the hate and he's coming off the back of Jerome's, the Instagram story that he put up. Chill, you all got work in the morning, whatever. But you can't be saying that when someone's getting death threats, and he's using the word hate in his speech about Queensland hating him, and he's copping death threats, that's hatred. Like, you're right, Hedo.
Yeah.
There needs to be accountability for it. It's awful behaviour from Hoops.
Well, JB, before I let you jump in, I'll just say more. Everyone wants these trolls called out on Twitter and social media, and we want everyone has a voice and doesn't get called out, and social media can do what they want. How do journalists get to do what they like, make shit up and just run with it and not be accountable for what they say? Because Ben Hunt, again, Fox Sports and the Telegraph have brought up Ben Hunt signed with the Broncos.
Yeah.
It's made up.
Yeah. Nothing happened, yeah.
No.
And, first point on that is, like Gordon Tallis the other day said about, the argument was, he should be allowed to say, give his opinion on what he's receiving on a social media point of view. And Gordon Tallis turned around and said, well, you should just turn it off. If you don't like it, turn it off.
Gordy, it's 2023. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not black and white these days. Like,
it's not
that,
done like it used to be.
Is
Don't
a
pick the
perfect
newspaper
example
up.
of being able to air. Right. And I do agree with you, like Eric, what's going on, try and publicise the haters and stuff like that. And I do agree with you, Hedo. Like, you can't be pro, let's hang these haters out to dry, and then the media personality jump on the back and do pretty much the exact same thing, but just in a more educational, verbal form, Like, they're saying the same thing, really, aren't they?
And then
they're putting the test.
If you go and watch NRL 360 last night, I think it was last night, or it could have been Monday night, Brent Reid wrote an article supporting Jerome Luai, and in the telly, or he wrote it for Code Sports, whatever it was. Buzz was into him about why he wrote it.
Yeah.
Why aren't we talking
Well,
about trolls? Why aren't we talking about supporting the players from death threats?
the media, to be honest, especially on like NRL 360, like report off-field stuff that's happened, but to turn around and say that Jerome Luai shouldn't be in the team based off the back of his stuff, like he's letting the team down and that, I mean, like a tweet or something like that. We don't ever talk about, well, he shouldn't be in the team because he's dragging the chain at 6, or it's just crap. Like, and you said, and you know what, and the next point I had was, do you think this will drive Luai out for Game 3?
I don't think so if Freddie's there, because Cody Walker was really poor on the weekend. Really poor.
Yeah.
Really, really poor. And they obviously don't think Nico's a 6. Yeah? They obviously see Nico as a halfback.
Yeah.
So I don't see... I don't... Who else do you pick? Who's a better 5'8" at the moment? Because, again, I don't think he was that bad. He made some...
No.
He ran the ball.
He
He did everything. I don't think him and Moses were the two worst players on the field. I didn't think.
No, he was worse Game 1. He was better
Yeah.
Game 2.
Yeah.
And that's easy to... Not an excuse. Like, he is used to having Nathan next to him for 99% of his career.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No,
Look,
it's pretty poor form, to be honest.
I just think it's poor form, and and look, it can come across that I'm a one-eyed Panthers fan, but it's not just it. Calling that out is, I did say at the start there'll be another player that he'll attack next week for whatever, just for the sake of selling a story. Where I just think no one's going to call it out. Look, we have 1 million listeners, everyone listens, so maybe we might be able to give it a shake. But mate, fair dinkum, like I just don't see how that's how it's even a story that Jerome Luai is hated in Queensland and we can't. Like, anyway, boys, the Aussies are in bat. Starkey's in, Boland's out.
Agree
What
with
do
that.
we think?
Well, I mean, you could go either way, really, with them two, to be honest. Like, Boland wasn't shit, but Starkey, when he is on, he's handy, but he can be off, though,
Well,
that's the only difference, Like, I feel like both their best are just as good as each other.
No, yeah, I was
but
just
their worst is fucking, like, Boland doesn't really ever get bad, but
in support of Starkey as well, Boland did start to cop a bit. They started walking down the pitch to him and treating him like a spinner. Starkey can clean the tail up in 1 over. He can take 6.
Yeah.
He can take 6 for none in 1 or 2 overs.
Yeah.
And rip through the England tail.
Look, I don't think it's going to change too much, to be honest. It
just means
England
Cameron Green probably bowls more. That's all.
Yeah.
Right arm.
And it gives...
Right arm quick.
Yeah. That's right.
But I hope, my man, if Warner scores a ton, look out next week's intro. If Warner scores runs, I'll run off the back fence. Dead set.
Don't mock him. He's in back now. Just shut up.
I'm about to say
shut
something.
Up.
Hang on.
And you shut up too.
I'll leave it.
Fuck you, Dad.
That's why I was getting in before the mock supported him.
I'll leave it. No, I'll leave it.
Yeah, shut up.
Boys, Luke Brooks, big news. What I want to before we get into the Manly signings, Manly have obviously made some big signings. They've put out in the media 3 or 4 signings plus Schuster. Are Manly trying to patch over the cracks for this year by getting out in the media? Is Seabold that good at using the media at the moment and pasting over the cracks and basically waving the white flag for this year?
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that's a good shout. That I think so.
Gives himself a bit of leeway for the rest. Look at what we're doing.
Just keep positive news. Up front,
because they're proper shit at the moment.
Yeah.
It's concerning to them. I know that Jake's been out for a while, but if Jake, Daly, and Tommy are out, That's their issue, really, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's
And
not
so
their
on the signings, they're gun signings. I think Luke Brooks will tear it apart there. He's out of the Tigers for one. He'll play 5'8", and he won't have to manage a team. And Cherry Evans will boss him around the pitch.
So does Schuster go to centres?
He'll go the back row.
Yeah, okay.
So I was listening to it today, and I read a few articles on it today. Everyone's of the opinion he's not fit enough to be Cameron Murray or Isaiah Yeo and play that ball playing lock role. He's just not fit enough. Won't make the tackles. So he'll have to play as an edge back row or as a similar. I guess I'm putting him in the Bryce Cartwright mould. Good footballer. Probably could be a 5'8", can be whatever. But now playing back row.
I actually thought he would leave.
So
he wouldn't sign. I thought that because the media coming out is his head's getting a bit big, that kind of thing, and he wanted to be that kind of front runner of the team.
But can we trust the media?
No, fuck, you can't really. I mean, what did we say before that Ben Hunt's going to the Broncos?
He signed. He signed with the Broncos.
Effective immediately.
Yeah.
Gonna pay his way out.
Gonna pay his own way out.
Yeah, there was so much shit I read about that.
Yeah. But I will say that they've let go the Fainu brothers, that the halfback, one of the Fainu brothers. And if you listen to the good judges in league at the moment, they're saying he's a generational halfback, and they're letting him go. They've said he's free to go to another club.
Are they looking for short-term success, maybe?
Yeah, that's so. I want to, and I'm going to do a bit of research on it and come back to you next week about the player managers that these players are managed by that have come to the club.
Yeah.
And I'll give a bit more. I'll give you a bit of background. I think they may be managed either by Seabold's manager or someone, because it looks they are
Moses,
yeah. So they are by Isaac Moses.
Yeah, they got 6 of them or 7 of them now on the roster. So
yeah. So
and this is what they were saying about. There's a bit of chat around in the week about, is this going to be alarm bells, because does that manager technically
own it?
have a power, a power arm over the team?
Well, look what happened at the Broncos.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing happened at the Broncos. Isaac Moses was running the Broncos with Seabold.
Yeah.
Left the board, left the CEO and the general manager of footy with no decisions.
Yeah.
Causing player unrest through the media. And again, for me, it's Seabold putting it out in the media at the right time because they're going shit.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, they need to look into that, I think.
Well, you're letting go that good judges in footy are saying, Fainu, I'll get his name by the end of it. Latu Fane, I think his name is, saying he's a generational halfback, right?
Yeah.
At 17, 18. If someone says that, that's what Isaiah Katoa was, and Penrith were dirty. He left and went to the Dolphins, right? Manly just letting him go for free because they've got Brooks for 4 years? Please.
Well, yeah, it's your term, because, I mean, Brooks isn't young, is he?
No, that's right. But are they going to? So they're
putting
on
most.
Are they going to win? Are they going to win the comp in the next 4 years with Luke Brooks? Because Cherry Evans has probably only got 2 years left.
Well, to be honest, they must think that, because you think about it, they're trying to make hay while the sun shines with the Travojevic, the older two, while they're there. And who knows what's going to happen with Tommy these days.
He could break a fingernail.
He doesn't.
This is their
done.
window.
I think
they're obviously trying to get one in the next 2 or 3 years, to be honest.
Yeah.
And understand the cliff edge is going to come soon. So
yeah.
Look, it's not.
Well, look, I'm just thinking it's Isaac Moses. Again, if JB, you've heard that, I was going to do some digging, but if you've already you've done the digging and noticed it, boys, Dylan Brown's pleaded guilty. Again, the no fault stand down doesn't become apparent, and he can play again.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this. I don't want this to come across the wrong way and whatever else. What Dylan Brown has done is worse than what Jerome Luai has done. and Jerome Luai is in the media, and Reece Walsh, and what Reece Walsh has done is again worse than what Jerome Luai's done, and it's. I guess we can't report it on similar situations, but Fox, they've got to get their ducks in a row. You know what I mean? So are they going to call out? Are they going to call out Parramatta this week if they play him, or next week?
No,
of course not.
Not to the extent they do to Penrith, mate.
No.
They hate Penrith.
Well, look, it'll be a one-liner,
Yeah.
and whatever. But I still go back to the fact that they haven't even addressed Kenty.
Kenty. Yep. Not one
Oh,
word.
It's before the courts. Fuck off, you fucks.
Well, imagine if Jerome flogged a woman.
Oh, mate, there'd be cameras parked outside his house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about it forever, mate.
Yeah, but boys, what I do want to sort of chat about is Ivan's come out in the media, and it's sort of banking on the back of last week's results. Ivan's come out in the media and said they need to look at, I guess, players backing up from Origin, and he didn't. He sacked all his Origin players this week against Newcastle. Didn't let them back up. And what I want to talk about is Penrith's depth. To be fair, they lost Sean O'Sullivan, who was a pretty stand-up halfback and took the Dolphins at the start of the year. Deserves his shot in first grade. But Jack Cogger, wow, he's dead set. Looks like Nathan Cleary.
You've just hit my young gun of the week.
Young gun. Well, there you go.
That was my guy. So, yeah, well done. Thank you, mate. It was we both saw some good talent there, didn't we? Because he's still only, I think he's 25, and he's been around for a few years. I think he did a stint in England, and originally, funny enough, started with Newcastle in first grade. Mate, I think he's come out and done a brilliant job to fill Nathan Cleary's shoes, and obviously he's playing under Nathan, and we'll never get a start over Nathan when Nathan's fit, but I'd like to see that he can get a full-time gig at another club from how he's doing with Penrith right now. So that's my young gun of the week. So thanks for the intro, Heddo. Well done.
No, how good are we going?
Great minds think alike, mate.
Segue.
How good is this pod?
Segue.
That's it, mate.
We should be on radio craft at its finest. But boys, what I sort of want to get, I guess we've probably, I guess isn't shone a light on from a lot is Cogger wasn't wanted. Penrith took him, right? If you're a halfback that's hanging around reserve grade or overseas or whatever, young enough, it seems like Penrith's the system you want to get into and learn and get along. Because if you get a go, you just slot in.
Yeah.
Well, they really are now taken, up to where Melbourne are. Melbourne obviously had that.
Yeah.
It feels like they've always got someone else to come. Someone else. They've had it for years, and Penrith are really probably up there now, in line with them.
Well, look at Tyrone Peachey as well.
Exactly. They get the best out of everyone, don't they?
He was in reserve grade at the Tigers last year.
Yeah.
Gus Gould's been saying it for a long time. I know, there's mixed opinions about Gus, but Gus has always said how good Penrith's breeding ground is. So it seems like everyone else is actually starting to realise it now.
Yeah. But Kenty still wouldn't said he wouldn't leave your kids there.
Oh, yeah. He'd say Jack Cogger's no good. He'd say no. And he listens too, Kenty. Trust me, he listens. So hello, Kenty. Hello, mate. Hope you're enjoying your time on the couch.
Flog.
Boys, the best coach to come out of Penrith's system last year, you could have put money on it being Cameron Serrato. Well, it's now Andrew Webster.
Yeah.
What he's doing with the Warriors is nothing short of, I feel, unbelievable. Like he's Darren Watini-Zelezniak is basically scoring meat pies for fun. Sean Johnson is probably, in my opinion, going to win the Dally M, or at least give it a massive shake if he doesn't get injured. Wade Egan, another Penrith, used to be a Penrith player, is playing out of his skin at dummy half. And the front row, dead set, look like they're going to score a try every time they touch the ball.
Yeah. It's awesome to see the Warriors how they're playing based on the commitment that they did over the COVID years and whatever. But
it was a poison chalice for coaches. It was a poison chalice. No one could go there after Ivan Cleary basically and win a game or get him in the 8.
Yeah,
and he's turned around.
Todd Payton did well.
Yeah, for that.
And then got offered the job but turned it away to go to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are looking. They're a team that you want to watch. You want to turn it on and you want to watch.
Yeah. But they're also a team you probably don't want to play at finals time because you could beat them 50-0 or they could smack you 50-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they pump the Dragons, mate. But we're shit.
That's good segue, Scott. The Dragons are shit.
Yeah, we're awful. We are awful.
Boys, again, Radio Craft, Scott. I'll just bring you in and you just take us where we need to go.
Steer us around the park.
Boys, the Ben Hunt saga is playing out in the media. If we look at how the Titans did their thing and how they sacked Justin Holbrook and employed Des Hasler, Des Hasler was signed and Holbrook sacked before the media even got hold of it. They had to release it to the media to say that Holbrook was sacked.
Yeah.
It's obviously not that hard.
No.
It's obviously someone in the Dragons setup that wants their name in the media.
Yeah.
Because the Griffin thing played out from pre-season, basically derailed their season, and now the Ben Hunt thing is just playing out day by day. Mate, changes day by day.
What's the positive out of it, though?
Well, there's not, mate. There's look at the Titans. They won on the weekend. You didn't even hear about Justin Holbrook. Oh, they're not playing better with Justin Holbrook or without it. So
based on this, he wants to go, right?
Yeah.
That's fact.
Yeah.
I think it's worse keeping him. I think you let him go.
I think everyone thinks so.
I don't disagree with you there, but in sticking up now, bagging them, but sticking up for the Dragons, they also need to get something in return for it as well, right? Because the whispers are that if they let Ben Hunt go, there's 4 or 5 others that are going to put a release in and want out as well.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, right, okay.
But the dumb thing the Dragons did was let old mate go, Josh Kerr, to the Dolphins a week earlier. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah.
Where's the level like? I mean, credit to management from the Dragons to go. Well, no, contractually you're here till blah blah blah, but which is good from a club's point of view. You can't just be letting players pick and choose what they fucking want.
But what if he starts kicking stones?
I know. It's a tough one, mate, and he'll probably throw the ball out deliberately on the weekend or kick it out in the full. It wouldn't surprise me because he's clearly really, really upset. He doesn't want to be there anymore. But I don't know, mate. It's
you just hope that he has that moral compass, right? That look, it's not where I want to be, but
look,
I still play for me mates and stuff.
He's a professional footy player, you would think.
That's right.
And
it's only going to hurt his stocks if he starts fucking around and that.
Well, they won't want him in a club. No club will say. Like,
that's right.
Yeah. Now it's the derby against the Sharks tomorrow night. Talk me through what's going to happen.
50-0 Sharks. Look. Depending on Ben Hunt, really, if Ben Hunt's up for the game, Dragons will have a crack, but I still think Sharks win.
I think Sharks. It's what the probably best timing is a derby because if you're not getting up for it, just bring the reserve graders in for the rest of the season. Actually, bring the flag team in and let them play if you're not getting up for a derby.
Is it at Shark Park, Heddo?
Yeah, it's at Shark Park.
Yeah.
Cold. It'll be cold, wet, windy.
With their shit fans singing their shit Shark songs.
Up, Cronulla. Fuck off.
Up. I'm a wanker.
But look, the Dragons are the Dragons. Quickly on the Eels, boys.
Yeah.
It looked. We were at the Boozer Young'un on Saturday, and it didn't look pretty early. 3 minutes in, young Braden McGrady scores a meat pie on debut, but it's like the earth opened up and the Dolphins fell in a hole. They could. It was touch footy. It was touch footy for a good half an hour. Nearly basically 40 minutes after that, it was touch footy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin, you can leave with all that you want to chat about because I was quite impressed with what I saw.
Yeah, look, obviously at the start, getting that early try, I thought, oh,
Yep.
here we go. That kind of fucking. But no, to be honest, from that point on, it was just clinical, really. Just the speed of the play out of the ruck, and we just look like that side we should be playing all year. And it's good to know that we've still got a couple of players out coming back, but Hopgood's unreal. Penasini's fucking killing it, and that Cartwright is having probably his best season of his career at the moment.
But you don't want to re-sign him. You're not offering him another contract.
Yeah. Oh, look, I've been a haven't been a massive supporter of him.
You've hated him forever.
Yeah. Because only because the way he plays is flashy, and when it comes off, it's unreal. It looks good and it works, but it doesn't come off more often than not.
He's been consistent this year, but
he has, and that's the difference. So but it is a style
probably
of play
his best
that
year.
can really, but the problem is with it, it's the style of play that can really fuck you in important times of the season of games.
Too many
That's the thing.
offloads.
I'm always But look, it's working at the moment, and that connection between Moses and Gutherson is unreal. So,
and look, you get Dylan Brown back, but look, your man that's playing as a 5'8" and playing young Arcee.
I to be honest, I'd keep him
I'd
in.
be nearly benching Dylan Brown for the issues and disharmony in the team that he's caused. Right, let him go and get fit again in reserve grade because, mate, the way he plays.
I'm a fan of Arcee. I reckon I would at the moment. Like, don't get me wrong. The best of Dylan is better at the moment. We haven't seen a lot of Arcee, but Arcee's consistent, and he takes the game on. He's kicking game's not too bad either.
But
I'd keep him.
I'll ask you this, and I'll ask you both. He's letting Mitchell Moses run the team and not demanding it. With two chief playmakers as in Dylan Brown and Mitchell Moses at times, when Moses isn't getting the ball when he wants it, could be wrong, just saying. Now Moses gets the ball whenever he wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think there's also a bit of a point to prove from Dylan when he comes back as well. So I think it can either work or not work.
Because if he overplays his hand, right, it's going to interfere with how good Moses is going at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He's definitely hurting, and he wants to give back to the players and the fans. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
All right, quickly touch on a couple of others before we move on to the AFL and a bit of football. I picked the Cowboys at the start of the season to win the comp.
They're coming back.
How their season has flipped it, mate. South didn't even look like they were going to score a try.
No. Cowboys are playing exactly how we thought they should be at the start of the year. Finally,
16 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They've got a good roster. They've never had an excuse for it.
They had how many Origin players they have? And Tom Dearden was 18th man. They're not shit. Scott Drinkwater's a gun fullback. So they're on.
Mate, that's he's next level at the moment. That bloke,
Drinky.
Yeah.
He's Dylan Edwards at the moment.
Mate, I never rated him that much as a player, until the last month. Since he come back,
Yeah.
he's been sensational, man. He doesn't do anything wrong.
Nah, and he's got that left foot kicking game. Like the left foot is that's if you have a left footer in your team, that's why Jerome and Nathan work so well at times because you got a left footer in your team. That's why Cameron Smith was so good out of dummy half at times too because Cronk was right footed. He could just jump out to his left and knock it. I think, and that's what Drinky does well. Boys, I'm going to throw something out here, and we've spoken about it in the chat. Is Trent Robinson as good a coach as he's made out to be in the media?
No.
Or has he had decent enough cattle and won the comps and done what he did with decent cattle? Because they're shit at the moment.
Yeah, there's they have a fairly good list on paper, but there's something going on there. There's
a lot of rumours. We're hearing a lot of rumours as well about some shit going on. Sully and Brandon Smith and stuff like that. So you better hope they come back because he's looking like he can't coach.
Yeah, I think it's almost like whether the playing group, he's lost the playing group, or the playing group aren't supportive of each other.
Listening to the message anymore.
Nah.
Or they're just not happy with the players that have been chosen. Yeah, obviously there could be something that's going on. Obviously,
well, you look at it obviously comes back to it's not Sam Walker's fault that they were going horrible.
Yeah.
He copped it, didn't he? He fucking copped it.
He copped it. He copped it from the coach too. He copped it from the coach saying he needed to go back and.
Is he back at school now?
Well, yeah, look, it opens up Sam Walker to leave for me.
Yeah,
he probably should, to be honest.
Ask for a release.
Yeah.
And what are you holding him back for? If you're saying he's that bad, then you're not going to pick him.
I don't think he'll get a gig in another club, mate, in the NRL, to be honest.
Sam Walker will, 100% he will. So are we putting a line through the Roosters then?
Yeah, well, I actually, they were, I think they were my tip for the fucking flag outside of, Penrith. But I said to them, I remember saying the list that they have, if they can click, then they're going to be hard to beat, right? But they're just disjointed, and it's just not working.
Yeah,
too many Chiefs, I reckon. To be honest,
boys, that's our NRL wrap. We were blind on Saturday, Young and I, proper pissed, JB, proper pissed. Now, something flashed up on my Instagram or something flashed up somewhere.
I think I sent it to on the WhatsApp.
Or you might have sent it to. Okay, it's still starting to come back. I've seen Michael Clark score a double ton at the SCG, right? I've seen a couple of other double tons at the SCG. The Swans double tonned.
They did. Oh god.
They funniest
thing was I didn't have the chance to watch the game. But I was just flicking through the scores and I'm like, no, so it's a typo here. So I'm like refreshing it, and it's just not changed. And I thought 205 to 34 of a West Coast. So to be honest, right now look, we've been given West Coast, a bit of shit, but a bit of slack at the same time. Like they have 20 plus players injured, right? But sorry, they
didn't on the weekend, JB.
You can't have. There's no excuse for getting done by 171 points. This day and age.
As an AFL, now, Young, before you jump in, because it's real, right? It's definitely real. I wasn't blind and seen it.
Yeah.
But, mate, the Swans weren't even at full strength either, JB.
Nah. That's
how many players do they have on the field? It's like there was fucking half a side out there.
So, and it just shows that this day and age, right? This is why it shouldn't happen, because back in the day, you'd have a lot of players. It'd be easy to kick 100 goals in a year, in a season, right? You don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
They really don't get near. They might get 70 maybe. But if you look at the goal scorers for the game, like it was spread out.
Spread out. So Henny kicked
Like
5, Armity kicked 4,
yeah,
McDonald kicked 4. Then it's all spread between 3,
yeah, 3,
2s,
2s,
1s.
1s. So it's not like some bloke went out and kicked 15 like
Stood in the
you
goal
saw
square.
you saw Lockett do or Dunstall do back in the day. The spread is there, but yeah, I think
As West Coast, it's their biggest loss in the history of the club.
And you tipped them, young'un.
No, I didn't. I didn't tip them this time.
not this time.
Well,
The last
But
time
look,
they got
I
beaten by a
think.
ton, you did.
Do you know what?
and it's
I reckon.
also it was Sydney's biggest win as well.
Yeah, it would be.
And they equaled. It wasn't their biggest. It was a 171 point win. They equaled their biggest win since
1964.
1919. So
Fuck.
I know.
So I
Listen to
think
this
before
AFL Encyclopedia coming out. Fucking hell, Jared Blakely.
before this week, we gave Adam Simpson a little, pass go, little ticket.
Well, we stuck it to his strength and conditioning staff.
Yeah, due to the injuries and stuff, and we took it up on them. But there has to be some pressure now after that, and I have seen that they have. I could be wrong, but I thought I saw a highlight that they sacked the strength and conditioning coach.
Yep, sacked him.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you too, from a recruitment and board point of view, Nisbet's still there. He's been there for basically forever, right? Signs off on everything. Tim Kelly on $1 million.
No good.
They're not getting enough out of him, right?
They never have.
McGovern, not getting enough. Like, they're big name players, they're not getting enough out of, yeah?
So Tim Kelly, like I can see why they signed him for $1 million when he was at Geelong.
Oh, he's a gun.
He was unreal, fucking unreal. Played out of his skin, got a free ticket home, and then hasn't
Didn't have
really
family
shown
in
up
Geelong,
since.
mate, so didn't have to worry about any other outside influences.
No, that's right. So he got homesick, went back, hasn't done things since. McGovern, it's hard with him. I mean, he has done so much for that club and been a gun for so many years. Pretty much won him the 2018 grand final.
Yeah.
So, he's not doing enough, but he's getting on. But, look, there's injuries and stuff like that. But
mate, the three of us could get a kick for West Coast at the moment.
Yeah, you can't explain that.
Ben Cousins is back on TV. He might be recruited. Ben Cousins is on the sport.
Might have to.
He might have to kick Cousins because he's probably fitter than most of them.
Yeah, he probably would be, definitely. He'll get his bloody regime back into the club. He didn't get injured much.
No, because he's on the Persian rugs when he wasn't playing.
That's right. Sponsored by Gillette Shavers.
No hair on your body. You
can't test me, mate, can you? The best story I've ever heard in my life.
Saved his toe hair, saved every single hair on his body. So
and he acted like he didn't know.
Oh, fucking legend. Absolute legend.
All right. Mike, I'm bringing you in here.
Yep.
Since you said Hipwood and Danaher can't kick goals, they're averaging 6 goals as a pair since you said that.
Well, look, as an AFL player, you need to be doing your research and always working away from the club. So they've obviously listened to the podcast.
Listen to
doing
Mike trying to get himself back here.
Yeah. Nah, well, fuck. Good on them. But
Saints, on the other hand, have the Saints peaked?
Yeah. Yeah, they're falling away now, I think. Yeah. Yep. I honestly think we've harped on it a bit about their game style and their gameplay under Ross.
Yeah. So, how many wins, in your opinion, how many wins gets you in the 8?
Oh, they used to say like 11.
Yeah.
11
so
wins.
8 wins at the moment.
Yeah. Well,
you're still saying there's a pretty good chance they make the 8, even though they've peaked.
They'll be around Richmond, I reckon, and then it'll be up to them who takes 8.
Yeah.
Who takes
So
their
that's
spot?
Geelong, and we'll touch on that now. That's Adelaide, Geelong, Gold Coast, Fremantle, all on 7 wins.
Yeah. I think it'll be out of the 8th position will be out of Saints, Adelaide, Richmond, Geelong.
Okay.
But I can't see it. Yeah, Adelaide are just sneaking through. I don't know how they're getting it done, but
Well, I want to talk. Good segue. Are Adelaide now the biggest sooks in the league?
they always have. They always have been.
Like, okay, they should have got paid a free kick, right? Jordan Dawson got whacked on the Huckleberry on the chin and should have been given a free kick. But mate,
Yeah.
a couple of minutes earlier, Collingwood should have been given a free kick before an Adelaide goal, and weren't.
Yeah.
So, like, we can't.
Yeah, but Adelaide kicked four straight points in the fourth quarter at
That's
the same
right as
time.
well.
So if I can kick straight, stop looking.
Listen to this fucking. Put your teeth back in your pie.
Oh,
Yeah. Look at that. I was sticking up for you too until you ran
Mate,
with it, until you took it on.
No, the hardest thing that Adelaide do is pull Mason Cox's glasses off.
Oh no, that was actually pretty funny, but
It was good. I did like that.
mate, don't talk to me like that. I'll rip your glasses off.
Yeah, that's it. And run off.
Now we're at the end of the bye round. Sorry. So before we talk about the bye round, I know you've sent a text throughout the week after the game, JB, and Geelong. You think Geelong are possibly back, but are they back at Geelong? Are they back at GMHBA?
They're always there, but like to win against Melbourne,
Yeah.
and
So their best is still up to it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, Dangerfield was out, and Jeremy Cameron gets knocked out in the first quarter.
Yeah.
They just look like they're clicking back to how they were last year. That's all. So and Melbourne were a full strength side, and they're up and about. So
have they got problems in front of goal?
Melbourne.
The D's? Do they not know what their best forward line is?
They got a weird forward line. They really use that Bailey Fritsch a lot, who's a small forward, as a kind of a lead up forward, but he can't kick straight. Fucking in his bedroom, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's too busy worrying about his hair. But
and they've got Van Rooyen, who's basically a first year player as well. Like, do they go back? Is there anyone in the reserves that can come in and play?
Nah, not really.
Like a Ben Brown? A Ben Brown?
Well, fuck. Mate, that bloke can kick straight, but
he could kick backwards too at times.
Yeah, he could. But no, look, they've gone with that small forward type setup, and it's not working for them at the moment. But they're still a good side.
Well, can we now move past the bye rounds, JV, because it's been the biggest, most boring part of the AFL season when the AFL season was humming along. It's dead set hit a speed bump, mate, and let's hope it comes back with more games of footy on.
Yeah, so we've got Richmond up Thursday night. So
good game.
That'll be interesting.
Well, if the Lions are going to win the flag, these are the teams they've got to knock off pretty easily at home. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Swans play the Cats. It's another hard game to pick because the Swans come off 171 versus the under sixes, and Geelong are beating one of the flag favourites in Melbourne, so it could be a 0-0 draw. And mate, Gold Coast play Collingwood. Collingwood, mate, you can't pick Gold Coast at the moment. How do you pick them?
We've always keep an eye on that.
Yeah, they struggle.
We've always struggle up at Gold Coast. Some fucking reason. Yeah.
What I sort of want to, I've been saying it for a while. Toby Green, if Toby Green's playing for a Melbourne team, he is dead set a superstar of the game. And look, he is, but he doesn't get the plaudits. I think it's a danger game for Melbourne against GWS.
Yeah, that's a game that if you don't, like as you said about Brisbane, if they're fair dinkum, they need to be beating teams like Richmond. If Melbourne are fair dinkum, they need to be beating GWS by 6 goals or
Well, it's in
plus.
Alice Springs. It's in Alice Springs as well, right? So it's not at the G.
Yeah, okay. Well,
So for
Melbourne
me,
play
that
well
brings
up there.
GWS back into it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but
just
again, yeah,
food for thought. And dead set, I'm reading this right. The sports bet have put up a market for Optus Stadium for the game of the round, 4:40 Sunday afternoon, West Coast versus St Kilda. West Coast in a head-to-head match are paying $10.50.
What?
It should be 100 to 1. They're paying $10.50.
The Saints was $1.05.
$1.05 in a dead set 2-horse race. They're
In Perth.
$1.05 in Perth.
Well, young'un, I'd tip the Eagles, mate.
Like, just don't put your tips in and you'll get that win.
Exactly.
Mate,
Yeah.
it's still throw a cheeky 50 on that, mate. You never know.
Please. All right. Well, we're over the bye rounds. We're back into on the downward spiral for the final series for the AFL. So hopefully we can get some momentum back for that, and kick home the season. But boys, still none for 26 in the cricket. Just updating it as we go. Boys, we spoke about we've been touching on a bit more football this week, or in the last few weeks. Sorry, and obviously some big news around some with Ange signing at Tottenham. He's just appointed ex-Socceroos captain Mila Jedinak as one of his assistants.
That's
Big
awesome, eh?
signing, big signing.
Massive.
Big signing for Australian football, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
spoke about it that Andrew's given Harry Kewell a crack when he was sacked from a few jobs as head gaffer. He brought Harry on, and from all reports, Harry, the dressing room love Harry, another Aussie, right?
At Celtic, yep.
At Celtic, and Brendan Rodgers has kept Harry Kewell on at Celtic, wants him a part of it. So for Ange to put his trust in Australian coaches is massive for our game.
Yeah.
I can't speak highly enough of how big that is for Australian football.
Huge, mate. Obviously, we hope both coaches do well, but I mean, it's proof that bringing in Harry Kewell, he's now got longevity at Celtic under Brendan Rodgers, who has got a massive coaching accreditation. So good for Harry, good for Australian football, and now Big Ange at Tottenham bringing in Millet, which no one knew where he was or what he was doing after he retired from Crystal.
Yeah, and he's doing his coaching badges. He got all his coaching badges and was hanging out in the back room at Aston Villa doing some loan coaching and stuff like that. And Ange just plucked him.
It's bleeding Australian management and our name into the rest of world football. So very, very good news out of that.
Just goes to show we're not like it's on the world stage. We're not shit, right? From like we spoke about last week. Anthony Pavlicic gone to Bayern Munich, right? So our footballers are on the map, right? Bayern Munich, especially the German football, love Australian footballers, right? And boys, the other big signing is young Marco Tilio from Melbourne City. Looks like he's going to sign a $2 million transfer to Celtic and be Brendan Rodgers' second signing. So young Australian footballer on the up, superstar, like proper superstar, will be playing at Celtic next season. So
do you think this has come off the back of the success that we had with the World Cup?
But look, it didn't hurt, but it's also come off the back of, I guess, people believing in it. In you know what? It comes off the back of Ange, right?
Yeah.
Who's Australia?
Yeah.
Then they have a look at the league. You got blokes like Jason Cummings performing as well, right? So the Scottish lads overseas. Oh, let's have a look at what the Cum Dog's doing. A few of those imports, I think, have done best nickname in the world is Cum
absolutely.
Dog. I think it shows that a few of the imports that have worked. You've got Geraint Quoll signed with Newcastle as well, so some big name, like some big clubs have purchased some players. So I think that's put the cat amongst the pigeons a bit, mate. To be honest.
Yeah, no, it has, mate. We're not just relying on Matty Ryan and Aaron Moy. So
yeah,
you know, it's positive, mate. It's looking good.
It's massively positive, and mate, that's Hedo's hero this week is Marco Tilio. I know he could have been a young gun because he is a young bloke, but deserves everything, right? And will play football matches for Celtic, so won't just be there loaned out and go and have farmed out somewhere else. He'll play football matches at Celtic, and he'll put Australia back on the map over there, because I'm not sure how far or how long left Aaron Moy's got with a bad back. So
no,
it'll keep the Aussie blood running through Celtic.
Well, it keeps our hopes for, you know, Aussie qualifications and all that sort of stuff as well. When we got more players being exposed to European football. So
European football. So that's mine, lads. Anything else to add this week?
No, wouldn't mind a joke. Have a laugh.
Good segue, young.
I've got before we do that, I got my multi of the week, right?
Right.
All right, so hang on, let me get all right. So, because the Dragons are so shit, so I'm going to start it off.
Oh, don't.
With the
Watch us beat the Sharks 13 plus.
Get all over. I'm all over the Dragons. I'm getting
on it. I think we're playing over 6s to get the win.
The Sharks 13 plus.
Oh,
you're an idiot.
Craig Fitzgibbon listens, mate. He's not going to sleep.
All right, Sharks 13 plus. Molitala to score a try. And I'm going Dallin with Tenny Zelezniak to score a double again.
Yeah.
Or more, 2 or more.
I don't mind that.
So that's paying $11.44. Put 100 on it, so yeah, it's over 1,000. So
yeah, nice one.
Fuck, thought that would have paid more. The Dragons are that shit. You're not getting much for 13 plus.
No, you only get $1.95.
I like the Dallin to score a double, because if he seems to score in clumps.
No,
well, it is against the Rabbitohs. That's the only issue, but
he did score 4 on the weekend.
Yeah. All right. JB's joke of the week.
Yeah. So I'm sticking with the religious theme, like from last week. All right. So this is called "Tell Me About the Day You Died." So it got crowded in heaven. So for one day, it was decided only to accept people who had a really bad day on the day that they died. St. Peter was standing there at the pearly gates and said to the first man, "Tell me about the day you died." The man said, "Oh, it was awful. I was sure my wife was having an affair, so I came home early to catch her with him. I searched all over the apartment, but couldn't find him anywhere. So I went out into the balcony, and we live on the 25th floor, and found this man hanging over the edge by his fingertips. So I ran inside, I got a hammer, and started hitting his hands. He fell, landed in some bushes though. But the strain of this act gave me a heart attack. So I went inside, I got the refrigerator and pushed it over the edge, and it crushed him. And I died. St. Peter couldn't deny that this was a pretty bad day, and since it was a crime of passion, he let the man in. He then asked the next man in line about his day and the day he died. "Well, sir, it was awful. I was doing aerobics on the balcony of my 26th floor apartment when I twisted my ankle and I slipped over the edge. I managed to grab the balcony below, but some maniac came out with a hammer and started pounding my fingers. Luckily, I fell over the edge. Luckily, I landed on some bushes, but then the guy dropped the refrigerator on top of me." St. Peter chuckled, led him into heaven, and decided he could really start enjoying this job. Tell me about the day you died, he said to the third man in line. Okay, so picture this. I'm naked. I'm hiding inside a refrigerator.
Naked. Do you get it, Youngin?
Yeah, I get it, mate. Well done. Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, they're getting better. They're getting better.
That was very
All right,
good.
boys. That's JB's joke of the week. The mock hopefully hasn't struck again, and the Cronulla Sharks win. But Fitzy won't be sleeping well for the next couple of nights, knowing that the mock has put 13 plus on him. But boys, another good show. Go the Aussies, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, fucking oath.
absolutely. Let's go.
Smack those palms. See you, boys.
See you, lads.
See you, mate.
Bye.